Good, good evening, spotters and knife enthusiasts. It's Terminator Joe once again. Now, this video is based upon a question that's been egging me on, and it's based upon this knife right here. I've done several other videos about this knife. I'm probably going to do several more about this knife. Now, the question spans upon me because a lot of people say, well, this is too big to be considered EDC. I need to see this every day. In fact, I need to see two, sometimes three of these in my pocket. It's an everyday carry. But the question comes to me as I was when it comes to that people call this a pocket sword. Now the question is, how long does a knife have to be considered a sword? But how small does a sword have to be considered a knife? Now this come across me because of the length of this stuff. Like I said, it's a big knife. But look at my EBAT Mission 3, compare the size of it comes with these two, and when it comes, when you see about, it's about like an inch or so. That this is actually an inch, a little bit of an inch, 1 inch. I think about 1 inch bigger than this is, but it's not really considered a sword. Now take a look at another one of my knives. In fact, this is the biggest knife I have. The Kalash Expedition Cleaver. Dwarfs this. But it's not really considered a sword, even though you could two-hand this right here like a baseball bat. And I'm just wondering how long does a blade have to be considered a sword? How small has to be considered a knife? Is there a cutoff point? Now I went on Google to pretty much find the answer, and essentially there are no parameters when it comes down to the subject. In fact, there are no parameters saying that a knife needs to have a handle length of probably 4, maybe 5 inches to still be considered a knife, or maybe 7 to 8 to still be considered a sword. I looked all over Google and don't find an answer. In fact, I did find. In fact, one of the questions I did ask was the smallest sword, and it actually gave me an answer. Smallest sword, according to Google, is the Wakizashi. Now, comparing the size of this Wakizashi towards my cleaver, the Wakizashi is a couple inches bigger. Which confirms to me that a 17-inch blade length is pretty much the unofficial parameter for how long a knife should be, but I'm not 100% sure about that because when it comes to this Wakizashi, I'm not sure that any knives are probably smaller. I don't have too much of a plethora when it comes down towards swords. I have this, but I also have my Honshu War Sword. Now this bad boy, it's about the same length. Yeah, in fact, yeah, it is about the same. In fact, the Wakizashi is actually an inch longer than this is, but this is still pretty much considered a small sword, even though this is about an inch shorter. It's got me wondering, how, again, how long does the sword have to be? In fact, how with blade length, does a sword have to still be considered a sword? Because there are plethora of swords that are probably around the same length as this. And to be honest with you, there are plenty of knives which are bigger than my cold steel espada, aren't considered like swords. For example, my big Jim Bowie, which I love so much, is bigger than the espada. My cold steel, well, West Bowie. Actually, this is actually about an inch bigger, but it's not really considered a sword, even though a lot of people say it does. And then there's also the Preacher, which is a tad bit longer than my Spada. Alright, well, let's continue on. Oh yeah. I cannot compare it to this. The Krogal. Face to face, yeah, the Krogal has about 2-3 inches on the Espada. But Krogal isn't considered a sword. So what's the answer here? I really don't know, because unfortunately I am not the authority when it comes towards parameter lengths when it comes to swords and knives. But I can make my own analogy when it comes down to it. Now, I'm going to just go with what Google says. That, now, the Lagazanchi is the smallest sword. I'll go with that for now. And comparing the two, yeah. There's a hell of a difference when it comes to size. So, like I stated before, what is the answer towards this question? Well, to me, I found an answer. As big as this is, it is not a sword. It's just a really big folding knife. Now, are they ever gonna stop calling this a pocket sword? No, they're not. And I'll expect them to. I'm not gonna be the authority of telling people what to do. But to be honest with you, I said the cutoff point for how long your knife has to be considered still a knife, but long enough to not be considered a sword. I'm gonna go with my Expedition Bowie, as it was Expedition Cleaver. Let me goof. With a blade length of about 17 inches. I'll probably say 17 inches is pretty much the cutoff point. Like anything beyond 17 is considered a sword to me. Anything below 17, still in the knife territory, no matter how big it is. No matter if it's a big boy like the E-Bag Big Jim, still considered a knife. Now, with that being said, I want to know, coming from the viewers or a handful of people that watch this video, what do you consider too long to be considered a knife, or too short to be considered a sword? I want some more interaction here, so please comment below. So, have a good night. I'm going to leave you out with one of these. Stay sharp, stay frosty.